So let's talk about something we all feel. We live in a world that is just so loud, right? It tells us our ambitions should be big, our desires should be loud, and we should chase them with everything we've got. But what if that's the very thing causing so much of our anxiety? Today, we're going to explore a totally different idea, a quiet internal flame that promises not more achievement, but more freedom.
All right, so let's break this down. On one side, you've got the desire we're all familiar with. It's loud, it's anxious, it's always looking over its shoulder for praise from the outside world. Think about that promotion you're stressing over. But then, there's this other thing, a true burning desire. And this one is the total opposite. It's quiet, it's calm. It's not looking for anything outside of you. It's looking for peace. It completely flips the script on what we're told to want.
So yeah, that anxious chase for more. We all know this one. This is the world of the ego, right? Where we're convinced our happiness is just right around the corner. One more accomplishment, one more success, one more person telling us we did a good job. It's a race, and the fuel is validation from everyone else.
And this really is the root of the issue, isn't it? We're conditioned from day one to believe that happiness is something you can go out and get, like a new phone or a better job title. We literally park our happiness in these external things. But here's the catch. That parking spot is always temporary. And that's exactly what keeps us feeling so restless and, honestly, so often disappointed.
And that leads us to this really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive idea. If the loud, frantic chase is what's causing the anxiety, then the solution can't be to just chase harder or faster. The real solution is to cultivate a desire that doesn't even need to shout, a flame that just burns steadily and quietly inside you.
So what is this true burning desire anyway? Well, it's definitely not that adrenaline rush you get from the chase. It's more like a calm intensity, an internal state that grows when you finally let go of needing things on the outside to make you feel whole. It is, in fact, the exact opposite of that loud, ego-driven excitement.
I mean, listen to this quote. It just says it all. When I have a burning desire, nobody is invited. I sit with myself. Wow. You see, this journey isn't a performance for your social media feed. It's not for anyone else's approval. It's a deeply personal internal process. You don't broadcast it, you just sit with it.
Okay, so if we want to find this quiet flame, we've got to figure out what's putting it out in the first place. What is the real, fundamental source of all this anxiety and stress we're all carrying around?
The source material we're looking at points to one core issue: delusion. And look, this isn't some far-out mystical concept. The definition is actually super practical. It's simply the mistake we all make, believing that something out there, a person, a job, a certain amount of money, can give us permanent, lasting happiness. So what's feeding this delusion? Well, it's these three things, really. It's our constant seesaw of I love this, I hate that. It's our attachments, getting way too hooked on certain people or specific outcomes. And, of course, it's that endless, exhausting list of unmet expectations we have for ourselves and for others. And I just love this analogy. It's so perfect, right? Happiness never truly stays where you park it. You can park your sense of well-being in a new relationship or a big accomplishment, but it's just a temporary spot. It's never going to stay put. True contentment has to be something you carry inside you no matter where you're parked.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the what and the why. But what about the how? How do we actually do this? Well, let's get practical. There's a really clear 4-stage meditation that can help us start to cultivate this inner calm and dissolve that delusion we were just talking about.
And what's great is that this isn't some super complicated thing. It starts really simply. Step 1 is just awareness, literally just noticing your body and getting comfortable. Then you sync your breath with a simple mantra for peace, Om Shanti. Now, step 3 is actually the key. You let your breath go back to normal. You stop trying so hard. And finally, there's a small visualization before you just surrender. You enter this state of doing nothing. It's all about slowly, gently releasing that need to control everything. But look, this is all great, but it can't just be about sitting quietly for 10 minutes a day, right? The real magic happens when you take these ideas out into the messy, real world. How does this work when you're dealing with a difficult person or when things just aren't going your way? Let's look at a couple of real-life examples. So, meet Barbara. She's cooked this whole dinner, right? But her guest is running super late. And to make it even more stressful, he has a medical procedure the next day, so there's a hard deadline for when he can eat. You can just feel that anxiety building, that total feeling of being out of control. I mean, who hasn't been there?
And check out the advice she's given. It's not about fixing the external problem. It's about shifting her internal state. She's guided to just notice, okay, my mind is in anxiety right now. And then to consciously pivot. Let me look at what being carefree feels like. She's using the principles of the meditation as a tool right there in the moment.
Okay, here's another one. This is David. He's on the phone trying to help out an elderly family friend, and she just gets totally frustrated and hangs up on him. Now, he says that in the past, an interaction like that would have just burned a hole in him and ruined his whole day.
But this time was different. And here's the incredible insight he had. Those are her challenges. That's her lack of adaptation. Just let it go. Do you see what he did there? He drew a boundary. He realized her frustration was her stuff, not his. And by seeing that clearly, he was able to protect his own calm and just let it go. That's a huge, huge shift.
So, what's this all for? Where does this all lead? I mean, managing anxiety is an amazing benefit for sure, but it's actually just a stepping stone to something much bigger. The ultimate goal here is true, unconditional freedom. The highest state described here is called a love for existence. Now, this isn't about attachment to a specific person or a desired outcome. It's about giving yourself completely to whatever the present moment is holding, with total acceptance and without expecting a single thing in return.
And this slide just nails the difference. Attachment is always conditional, isn't it? It's, I love you, but I need something from you. It's a transaction. Love for existence, on the other hand, is unconditional. It just says, I give myself fully to this moment, as it is, without the ego and all its demands.
And that leaves us with this one last thought to really chew on. We spend so much of our lives trying to bend the world to our will, believing that freedom means getting everything we want. But what if real freedom is the exact opposite? What if it's the quiet, powerful ability to fully and peacefully want what is already here? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.